Good morning and welcome to Morning Brew. And let's see here. Yvette was first in chat. Good afternoon, Captain Trek and everyone. Good afternoon, Yvette. Epic 5 was next, Kapla. It says hey to Bird. Mountains of Elysium, greetings, my friend Captain Trek and fellow nerds. And Mountain says, greetings to Bird of Prey 5, Yvette. AKA Yvette O'Prey. And let's see here. 47 York Tales says bonjour to Yvette. And Jesterson says hello to everyone. And let's see here. Oh, must have missed something. Oh well. And I've got somebody backstage. Gee, I wonder who, since I only gave out the link to one person.
Good morning. How are you?
Bird, yeah. I'll have to highlight this for you.
Oh no. Oh God, my eyesight. News coffee was outlawed today. Well, maybe in Karoga, but certainly not here.
Yeah, no shit. Let's put it this way. Coffee outlawed, bird dead.
I think there'll be a queue.
Yes. So, no, you don't want coffee outlawed.
Definitely not.
That would be, yeah, bad for your health, Bird.
Yep. She really, yes, I was about to say, he needs to explain himself.
Hello world, it's Bird of Prey 5, Kapla.
Kapla.
And good morning.
Wouldn't it be great if we outlawed coffee, and then people would have so much more time when they could be usually drinking coffee, they could devote to other things like arts or
Plotting a murder.
Entertainment, personal fulfillment,
Killing you.
meditation,
decimating your corpse.
No, those are bad things, Captain.
I'm
talking about positive things.
Tarring and feathering.
Contemplating the meaning of life.
Tarring and feathering, Bird.
No,
yes.
Tarring and feathering. What?
Yes, you don't die quickly though.
Wow.
Yes,
I was trying here to better everybody, and I'm feeling like I'm getting all negative emotions.
Ripping each nail.
Okay, you know what?
Fine. One by one.
You want your coffee? You can have your coffee. I don't care.
Good morning.
So much for trying to help humankind.
Good afternoon, Evergreen. Sorry.
Good morning. Good morning. How's life in a great state of misery?
Oh, it's shit. But hey, that's life. What's up with you?
I'm not on for too long this morning. I've got a pretty bad backache. I was doing some gardening yesterday, and I don't do much gardening, so my back's growling at me saying, "Don't do gardening. I hate gardening." So I'm struggling to walk this morning.
Ew, not good.
But it's nothing major. It's just, exercise. When you exercise, usually you get a little pain, right? So. And good morning, Mountains of Elysium.
In just and mountains, yeah.
The gesture of sin says outlaw coffee. Does Bird not realize that the age of enlightenment was only brought about because of coffee? Gesture of sin, I disagree with that premise. Coffee is a drug, and drugs are bad.
Okay, then we are going to outlaw Coca-Cola.
Mamo Prey is making weird looks
She-
at me.
Is she melting some tar and plucking some feathers?
But you are here in a bed, unable to do many things for yourself. If you outlawed coffee, I would be a zombie, unable to do anything.
I'm
And
right
you
there
know-
with you, Mama Prey.
As I go make my
Right on.
second.
Okay.
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Mama Prey speaks for all of us.
Correct.
Hey.
Mamo Prey might need a little more convincing.
No.
Yeah. No, she'll go find some tar to melt.
I'd like to take a moment, if I may, Captain, just to quickly send a shout out to our good friend Mr. Anti-Trekker, who is currently in the hospital having his gallbladder removed. Just want to send our prayers and best wishes, and hopefully he'll be on the road to recovery very soon.
Cousin Tibbs had the surgery literally yesterday. Anti-Trekker's having it today. He put out a video about an hour before Captain Trek came on, for anyone who didn't see it. Apparently, not only is his gallbladder being removed, but one of the stones somehow made it to his liver. So they also have to go get that stone.
So a little bit of relief work there for them, but hopefully he'll be on the road to recovery in no time. And Gesture of Sin says not all drugs are bad. Well, no drugs are bad. It's what you do with them that makes the difference.
That's correct.
You know, it's a common fallacy among many people that this thing is bad or that thing is evil. No, inanimate objects, guns are not bad. You put a gun on the sideboard dresser, even if it's fully loaded, it ain't gonna get up and shoot you. You know, internet's not evil. They're just tools. They're all just tools. It's what we do with them that makes them good or bad.
Guns aren't bad, but the internet is evil.
It is when you're on it, Bird.
Correct.
We've all seen the vile actions of Kuroga and the terrible toll it takes on humanity.
And Bird wanting to outlaw coffee.
Yeah,
Right there. That right there will vilify Bird as a what's the word I'm looking for?
God, I've got so many.
It's a whole list of words that you could write to describe Bird. None of them are longer than 4 letters.
No, I'm joking.
Broadcast.
I'm talking, something like justifiable homicide, things like that.
How are you feeling, by the way, Bird? How's your health? You seem to be okay. I caught the tail end of Bird Life last night. You seem to be doing all right.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that I maintained my energy. It was one of our longest bed lives in a long time. And I probably could have kept going. It was getting late and I hadn't eaten. Mama probably hadn't eaten. So, had to end it. But, knock wood, I feel pretty decent again this morning.
That's good.
I got it today. I've got to call back all the doctor's offices they're all going to tell me that they won't see me, I'm sure, and I'm going to have to go to the hospital. So we'll have to figure something out. But yeah, nobody's gotten back to me, including the place that promised, kind of promised. I mean, their whole job was to get stuff like this done. I expected to hear back. My guess is they're going to say, oh, we're still waiting on the records. And I'm like, you're not going to get any more records. My doctor doesn't fucking, not to say my doctor doesn't keep records, but my doctor is just, one person operation and a small office staff. They probably don't have all the records they're being asked to produce. But on the other hand, if you tell me to go to another doctor, the doctor's going to want to see all of my records. So, I don't think it.
So are these all contacts that you found yourself through your own channels, or are some of these ones that have come through the sort of outreach?
The contacts that have come through the outreach basically all ended up being links to web pages to contact people. That while it was very nice of people to help, that's all. I mean, yeah, some people knew somebody who knew somebody, but they couldn't do it, and they just did. I don't know if it was a Google search or a Bing search or whatever search, but they were just links ultimately to web pages to specific doctors. So I called them, but those. So basically, I've got a call in with a cardiac failure unit at the hospital. A call in to a local doctor that's part of the same hospital, but has an office closer to my house. I don't know that I could make it into his office. His secretary was super nice, said it usually takes 48 hours, but you try to get him to respond within 24. That was a week ago. Then this one other that didn't come from YouTube, but came from a friend from who well, it's hard to explain, but they have a service that they use, and I got a call from a guy. I guess I should email him today and see what's up. He was, seemed like he would certainly try to get something going, and he said even if we couldn't do it at home, then maybe they could work on getting me someplace. That they would try to do that and just see what he's saying, because let's just say they have access to things I would not think about normally. So I really expected to hear from them, but it's been a week now on everybody, and I've got nothing. People who told me that, give me 2 or 3 days, gave them a week. So I will call today and see what's up. I just know that if they haven't called me, obviously it's not good news. They're not going to say, oh yeah, we can see you virtually. They're going to say, yeah, either they're not going to take me on at all, because why take on a complex case when you're only going to get paid crap anyway. It's not like insurance pays you more for a complex case, or they're just going to say, yeah, you'd have to come here, and Mama Pray did find, at least found yesterday, that in the worst case scenario, well, worse, but there is a cardiac unit at the hospital that I might be able to go by private ambulance. I'd still have to go by ambulance, but instead of going into the emergency room, I could just go see the doctor. And being it is in the hospital, it will be, set up for stretchers and whatnot, so
Right.
that I could at least get to it. Now, taking an ambulance ride to the hospital is not fun, especially both ways, but being in a stretcher and all that. But if we absolutely had to do it, I guess we would manage. So I'm guessing that's going to be it. Now we still have to find something to do with Sassy. It would take a little planning, but it could be done.
So what's the main issue for you actually being able to get to a hospital? Is it transport or mobility or?
Well, part of that is the emergency room. Having to go to the emergency room, they don't want to keep him. They just want to treat and release. Is one thing, I know that. The other, obviously, Bert has already discussed. As far as getting into offices, yeah, you see most offices are not designed for stretchers.
Especially not in New York. I mean, I don't know about bigger buildings built in the last 20 years with the ADA and whatnot. But I mean, buildings around here are older buildings. There are very few, but besides hospitals that have been built recently, and they're just not designed for health, even for wheelchairs.
No.
I couldn't get my wheelchair through the door of a doctor's office nearby. I could barely even fit the wheelchair in the elevator. That was another thing. Like the elevator door was literally scraping against the wheelchair. I was afraid it was going to get in and not open again.
So really, it's an accessibility issue for the most part.
Physical accessibility. I mean, right. I don't have the mobility to get in a car. So, and even my wheelchair, there's no ambulance that I fit in. So if I can go someplace that's literally in wheelchair distance of my house, which is a doctor's office I went to where I didn't fit in to their office. I could do that, but like there's a couple of medical buildings that are just on the edge of wheelchair distance, but apparently the buildings aren't quite made for wheelchairs my size. Then if the other option is to take an ambulance and be on a stretcher, and they take me to a doctor's office. But when we've done that, we've had problems with the ambulance doesn't show up on time or with the right equipment. And by the time they do show up, the doctor's appointment is missed. And then call the doctor's office to try to explain the situation. And they try to accommodate. But then, like what happened with us last time was the doctor had to leave for surgery. Like, well, we just can't see you today, So it was a whole day of lost because of that. And then when we could get there, then the stretcher didn't fit into the exam room. So I couldn't even be seen. And like he saw me in the hallway, but this was years ago. This was a cardiologist. And I'm like, well, he couldn't even take my blood pressure. I'm like, why can't you take my, well, all of the blood pressure machines were attached to the walls of the exam rooms, which I couldn't get into. He didn't even have one portable blood pressure machine. At first my blood pressure would have been off the roof at that point anyway, because I was so pissed. But I was like, this is a complete fucking waste of everybody's time. Because I could take my blood pressure at home and tell you what the fuck it is. And you'd have more information than now, and I wouldn't have had to be in pain, and I wouldn't have had to go through the trauma of getting into and out of and coming to and from miles and miles over fucking potholes and shit. Ambulances staffed by, and I'm sorry, they were, at best entry level first year EMTs. They were not particularly experienced because the private ambulance companies don't have the money to hire good people. They hire the people that are in training or just getting their very first job and pay them shit, and it shows.
What a nightmare, dude. You would think, for the amount of money they charge, they could find an hour to come out and do a house call, I know it's a specialist, you need a cardiologist, but even so, I mean, it's not like they're going to be going out to people's houses every day. For one person, you'd think they may be able to find an hour in the day to schedule and come out and visit. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we did have a doctor that did that, and it was so nice of him. And so we know it can happen, and just people choose not to do it.
Bunch of dicks.
It's beyond my comprehension, because over here, it's a phone call, literally, to get anything organised. Mum's got a video conference with a dermatologist tomorrow. And they rang me to remind me, and they're not, none of the doctors here are particularly driven by, well, I wouldn't say all of them, the surgeons, when they go private, do, but most of them have to work for the NHS at some point or have to work a percentage, and they're all in it to save people here. And the more and more I hear about the American system, it's a vocation, not a job, as far as I'm concerned. You something you do because you want to help people, and it's just beyond my comprehension that you're in New York, for Christ's sake. I know it's big, but there has to be someone that gives a shit enough to do it, and it's mind-boggling. And
I would have
it's
thought
making
so,
me
Yvette,
angry.
but there just isn't. And we tried everything and beyond.
That sucks big time. And the chat's been quite busy while we've been talking. Morning, chat. Morning, crooners.
Sorry to have
trolling.
been ignoring the chat. This has been a little more.
I guess I could take out an advertisement in a newspaper, but nobody reads newspapers anymore.
No.
You'd be better off taking on an ad on YouTube,
Facebook.
Why not advertise on AOL.com? How about that one, Bird?
I wonder what they charge. I get Dr. Nick. Hi, Dr. Nick.
Just go on CNN and tell them you're a minority that was beat up by a cop. They'll soon get you what you need.
Yeah, I'll bet if you were a gay transgender person, oh, well, okay, if you're wanting to have that surgery, sure, we'll find a way.
Well, Bird is a rogue, and I think he's a minority. NB Geek says that I'm sounding good this morning. Well, thank you, that's good to know. How you doing?
You're very perky, actually, Aberdeen.
That's a deliberate effort, Bet. I'm trying not to think about my backache. Keeping my mind off. I've got to walk up to the store and get a few supplies today, so I'm not really looking forward to that. I've got my walking cane. I'll be all right.
I've been and done that already today.
And if anybody pisses you off, you can always beat them with it. Yeah, let's see here. Do you need to address the chat? Early on, it was okay. 54.5 Access Radio. Good morning. Cronus was on under his alt account. And Mountains Elysium, good morning. Good afternoon, sorry. I need more coffee. Then Kronos shows back up. Jester said good morning. Kronos finally is able to get in as Kronos and talk. Of course, he's a moderator here, so that should help. Let's see here. Who else? Jester Sin, Kronos, NB Geek. Good morning.
Oh, did.
And Kronos, Kronos, Geek, Kronos. Thank you, Kronos. And yes, Kronos. Where did it go? I had it. So right there. New York is Satan.
Captain, go make a coffee.
And yeah, NB Geek is correct. Yvette, he lives in New York. That says a lot. Yes. Not only does he live in the state of New York, he lives in one of the 5 shitty boroughs of New York. Not that they're bad people, but for fuck's sake. And yes, Kronos, he said Dr. Nick. Which at this point would be better than he's gotten so far. And JP's looking online for blood pressure monitor. A pain in the ass.
That's something I hadn't thought about. I bet quite a lot of home medical supplies have gone up in demand since the whole lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've got quite a lot of kit for Mum anyway, including blood pressure monitor and several other gadgets. So yeah, it's not the same as Bird, obviously, but it's a very similar situation. She can't be moved without, well, literally knocking her out. The pain is so bad, and she'd have to be literally dying for me to call an ambulance, because the pain would be, it's just, I don't even want to think about it, to be honest with you. Everyone has to come here, including a dentist, if she needs one. But luckily, here, we do have the facilities to do that. So,
yeah,
you know, it's it's just beyond me. In New York, I mean, Bird lived like in the middle of the Nevada desert or somewhere. Maybe I could understand a bit more. But he's in New York. Yeah, all right, he's in a borough, but it's still part of the city of New York. This, it doesn't go down well when you hear stories like this. It's disgraceful. So disgraceful. The most advanced country on the planet. And yet, I hear stories like this. It's wrong. Sorry.
yeah.
I have
The
a bit of
NHS
about this.
NHS might be a little slow, but we do get results eventually.
Yeah,
But
I
let me
don't
put it to
not
you
the
this way. Let me put it to you this way. If there was an urgent, and I mean fucking urgent matter, would it be as difficult as this? Even there?
No.
No.
We don't have a perfect record, but for the most part, if you got rushed in with an emergency, they'd get it seen to pretty much
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
I mean, ER trips are a little different. If you go in with a broken leg or a broken toe, you might be sat waiting for 4 or 5, 6 hours to get seen to, which is, it's a horrible situation to sit there in that kind of pain for so long. But it's not life threatening, so it's not end of the world stuff.
Yeah. That's about the worst case scenario these days.
Well, that's because
Thankfully,
nobody
I
goes
had
to
been
because no
off
one goes
a
to
long time.
hospital anymore. Everyone's too afraid to go to hospitals now.
Yeah. 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 And I know when a friend of mine broke her lower arm, she was in so much pain. The triage people who you see first when you go to the emergency room, or rather A&E here, they gave her a painkiller because she was in so much pain, and then put her back out to wait. And they didn't have to do that, but these people care and want, seeing someone in pain. It's just wrong. Ugh.
Yeah. NB Geek says to me and Yvette, do you all have urgent cares to go to? I'm not quite sure what you mean by urgent cares, but I'm assuming you mean like if you have an immediate medical need. I mean, we would just go to the ER.
Basically,
Yeah.
What we would call A&E.
Yeah, it would be a non-emergency room, emergency room type of place.
So it's like a lower priority emergency room.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah.
I
We
don't
have
think we have anything like that. I think we just go to ER. We call it A&E. You go to A&E, which we call ER. And if they think it's a lower priority, they would probably put you into they do have like side units, and they would refer you to them. But your first port of call would be the accident and emergency, the A&E.
Not here though, Abijam, actually.
No.
We have no. I presume because we're a tourist place, we have a huge, and I mean not as big as the hospital, but it's called the walk-in centre. And
Alright.
literally anyone can walk in and they have an MRI, they have X-rays, they have emergency dentists, they have, you name it, they've got it there. And you can turn up 24/7 in a cab. Say you were visiting Blackpool, your friend got drunk, passed out, and you thought they weren't going to make it, but thought, I don't want to call an ambulance. The walk-in centre's there for that. They've got emergency operating rooms there. This place, it is quite amazing. I've been a couple of times myself. And they've got absolutely every piece of equipment there that they have in hospitals without the flap. Literally, without any flap. I had some physiotherapy done there. And they just kept booking me in there because it was so much easier than going to a hospital to have it done. And yeah, I presume maybe it's something that Blackpool did because of the tourist side of it, but it eased the A&E up because A&E, especially at the weekends, was absolutely horrendous for everyone concerned because it's not just the people that live here; it's the tourists as well. So
It might also be a geography thing. I mean, you've got Blackpool, Preston, Fleetwood, Leyland, all in
yeah,
that one area. It's quite metropolitan. Whereas,
yeah,
I spent my entire life up in the backwoods of Cumbria, where it's,
yeah,
we have one
yeah,
hospital to serve most of Cumbria. So it might just be a geography thing. But yeah, in my experience, it was just, the hospital serves pretty much every purpose.
yeah, yeah. Yes, it hasn't been here forever. As far as I know, it wasn't here when my parents bought the place, so it's within the last sort of 15 years.
Mhm.
Um, it it was an old building, and they just redid it, and it's like 4 floors. It's huge. It's actually massive, but it's taken the strain off A&E, so they're getting basically, even if it's a 999 call, if they're assessed as a non-life threatening and the A&E is backed up, the walk-in centre doubles up.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a win-win here.
Yeah,
Well,
So yeah,
A&E's
yeah,
A&E's almost always busy.
JP's is saying they changed our system. There are only urgent care and ERs. There used to be 7 ERs in this city. Now there are 2 ERs and 5 urgent care centers, which actually sounds like they're streamlining and telling people, unless it's a fucking emergency, go to the urgent care, which is kind of
mhm,
the right thing.
Yeah.
You free up
yeah,
the actual ERs for, car accidents that are involving, serious injury, other things that are serious injury.
mm,
I'm sorry, little Timmy falling off a curb and breaking his arm is painful and it's horrible, but it's not life threatening normally.
Yeah, but there's always going to be some idiot kid who shows up at the emergency room with a tiny little comic stuffed up his nose or something, right?
oh yeah, Lego.
I didn't go to the emergency room for that. I dealt with it at home.
I thought that might wake him up. Welcome back, Bubblegum Joe. By the way, Captain, you might want to have a word with the chat. I think they're trying to get you a copyright strike by singing lots of famous songs in the chat. They're singing Bryan Adams and Starship. And Kronos, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to put you on something. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves would have been a good movie had they actually cast someone other than Kevin Costner in the lead role.
I tend to agree.
I'm sorry, but I don't think he's that great of an actor. He's passable. That's about as far as it goes. He's not a great actor. If they had to absolutely cast an American in the lead role of Robin Hood, I would have just gone all out and got Jeff Goldblum to do it. I would have loved to have seen a Jeff Goldblum rendition of Robin Hood.
That would have made more sense.
Would have been very funny.
Yeah. I'm sorry, JPs, I am not taking it back. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is a moderately decent movie. It would have been much better had they cast a decent actor in the lead role. Morgan Freeman is great. Mary Elizabeth is okay. Alan Rickman, of course, is just phenomenal. But no, if they could if it was the Sheriff of Nottingham cut, but it was all just Alan Rickman, then yeah, that would be a great movie.
Personally, I think I can't think of his name right now. Rowan Atkinson would have made a great Robin Hood.
He would have been
As
great
black.
for a comedy. Yeah, if you played it somewhere along the lines of Blackadder, that would have been fantastic.
Yes, now we need an Indian name for Kronos. Walks with coffee. Yeah, that would be a.
All right, Captain. CMO's orders. Go get yourself your second cup of coffee. You need it.
I am. Give me a second. Okay, I'll get back to that.
Listen to me very carefully, because I'm only going to say this once. Coffee. Black.
Coffee. Black. While I've got your attention, there are...
Coffee first. Well, this mentor would like another cup of coffee. I'm just gonna have to give up coffee. Want some coffee?
If I'm not mistaken, that's your third cup this morning.
Fourth, and on a day like today, it won't be my last. Coffee.
Coffee, coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Now I want a cup of coffee. Well, I didn't kill anyone in the supermarket this morning, so it's been a good morning. Didn't have any of Mother's favourite cakes, though, Bird, unfortunately. I ended up having to get her a walnut cake instead. So that was a bit disappointing. And for some reason, they run out of ice pops.
What?
But I did get there before the buses and all the old people, so that was good.
Okay. Enough of word then. Where that?
Oh, we lost Abajam.
Not sure what happened.
No,
Let me check.
it's probably gone to make a cup of coffee.
I dropped my computer and
Oh,
it's cracked. So hey, why not? I hate today.
Coffee.
Tim,
All right then. I'll teach you. Oh yes, I'll teach you.
is it okay?
One word.
No,
No.
but it'll have to work.
That's why I wasn't hearing it through my headset. I didn't plug it in yet. All right. How's everybody this morning? Or
Well,
afternoon, depending on where you are.
I'm okay. The captain's not doing too good. Birds,
Away.
well, back and forth. Things on his mind, obviously. So,
Yeah,
I
I was
haven't.
listening. I was listening in a little bit earlier. This just sounds like bullshit. I don't know. I live in an area with two major hospitals, and I mean, I hear usually the complaints I hear are they seem to be minor, for most people. Like some people's experiences are they'll complain about certain services, but it's hard to know if they're legitimate complaints or not, and it just sucks when you hear about stuff that happens to Bird, and it's like, I kind of wonder how that kind of shit happens in a hospital too. Like how do you have a room in a hospital that doesn't fit the goddamn cart
Stretcher.
that the stretcher.
Yeah.
Like I
It's
have never
illogical.
even heard of such a thing.
No. I mean, old hospitals here, and I'm talking back in the day, hospitals had double doors for everything, or a door and a half. It's like a
Yeah.
door and then a block of wood that could be opened the other side.
I
It's
mean,
just,
the only place that I know that doesn't have that would be like what you guys were talking about urgent care earlier. Now, our urgent care facilities are usually they're like walk-in clinics. You know, you walk in, you go to urgent care, and they walk you through a door. So there's no stretcher involved. You know, you're under your own power there. But if you go to emergency room, everything is double doored. Everything is,
No,
but
it wasn't a hospital that
oh
couldn't fit the stretcher.
oh okay
Sorry if I didn't come off that way.
I
The
didn't.
places that couldn't fit the stretcher were doctors' offices in medical buildings.
Oh, okay. I see.
Okay.
Sounds like they took you to the wrong facilities then, or is it what you asked
They
for?
didn't have a hospital. The hospital at the time didn't have the hospital I go to by emergency room. They didn't have doctors to see in the hospital.
Oh,
The doctors' offices, the doctors would see you in an emergency situation in the hospital. And once the emergency was dealt with, they'd tell you, okay, now make an appointment with my office.
yeah.
And they see you after you go home. And then, well, your office, I can't get to.
Oh, for crying out loud.
That was the problem. I'm sorry. I
Oh.
got to go again. But no, it's not. If I was in the hospital, yes, an ambulance stretcher could get to it.
Okay. It still sucks. Still unreasonable amount of problems that you're having with this. It's just unreal.
the other confusion I have, of course, is here your doctor refers you. You don't have to find the person. The doctors do.
Well, we have referrals too, but I mean, I don't know. I don't. Maybe that does work the same way over here. I don't know. I've never had to deal with medical issues like that. So I guess I'm not. I have no way of actually making a judgment on that. It just seems strange, but
The doctors would have more knowledge of a specialist than the average person.
yeah.
So therefore, they'd have the contact. Again, it's just mind-boggling to me, all of this. It really is.
When I was married, my ex-wife, she had a real interesting way of putting off doctors and not getting the help she wanted. She would go in and make some kind of snide remark or comment, and you could see the look on the doctor's face, and you just like, okay, I don't want to help this person. It's really funny. So it's like when she was pregnant with my daughter, she would have constant pains that she was complaining about. So, the first time we went in, she looks at the doctor and says, "Well, I hope you have all your marbles intact." And he looks at her and looks at me, and I'm like, "I'm gonna go out in the waiting room. You guys can take care of this yourself." I'm like, I don't want to deal. I don't want to listen to this. So, and then she comes out complaining, like, he wouldn't want to help me at all. It's like, what do you expect when you frickin' insult him right away? She did the same thing when my daughter was like 3 months old, and she made another snide comment to the doctor, and they didn't want to give her care because she was being a bitch. It's like, what do you expect? What do you expect when you treat them like crap? They're not going to want to help you.
No.
And what's going on, everyone?
Oh
How-
boy.
How big crack?
Let's see here. From the what do they call that word? On the underside to approximately, and it's a nice little wavy cut. Approximately 1/3 of the way. Yeah, about 1/3. Closer to 1/2, but whatever.
On the bottom.
On the bottom.
Okay. That should be doable. Because it's only the plastic that's cracked then. I hope.
I hope.
Yeah. Oh, good goodness.
So, how was your mom today, Yvette?
Yeah. She's good. Yeah, she's good. She spoke to her brother this morning. It was his birthday today. 93. Yep.
93.
And yeah, he's 10 years older than her. Mummy was an oopsie. no, that's a little nice surprise for them. Yes, her brother's 10 years older than her. Yeah, he's doing well. He's just this year given up driving. Just this year. But we've been praying for him to give up driving for many, but he's just very stubborn. Yeah, we got some photos sent to us. They took him out for a meal to a nice pub restaurant outside thing. And he's looking very well. Yeah. So
And JP says, "Holy shit, 93 is he a World War II vet?"
no, not quite. I always forget the names. So he worked as a bearskin. Is it a bearskin? The ones that stand still in red with the big bear hats on. All the royal. He was a royal guard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know the Royal Guard name, but I didn't know what you guys called them. I didn't want to. I didn't want to sound.
Hang on. Sure, I've got him somewhere. Hang on a moment.
The men that can stand and not smile. Also known as Stone Face. Living, breathing statues. Kind of makes you wonder if those guards, if there's something ever actually happened, would those guards move?
I'm back.
Joe, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Hang on. Because I won't be able to see. You'll have to tell me if you can see it or not.
Okay.
So I can't reverse the camera.
Okay, so far it works, yes.
Right, can you see him?
I see a candle.
A candle.
I don't know what I'm seeing. The reflection of something in the screen.
There.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah?
Who's that?
That's my Uncle Ian, my mum's brother. It's his birthday today. He's
Oh, happy birthday.
93. 93 years old.
So not a current picture.
Absolutely not. No. But there you go. He was one of the Royal Guards. There we go. Right. Turn the camera off.
Lovely kitchen, by the way.
Kitchen. It's my bedroom.
Oh, sorry.
Right. There you go. Yeah. Now you know. I was trying to explain what he was. I can never remember the names of them. The ones that you can go and blow raspberries at, etc., and they can't move for hours. I always said to him, I don't know how he did it. But
So,
yeah.
Mike, I was making the question earlier. If something actually happened where they needed to do their security job, would they still be allowed to move? Or is their job to just stand there?
Oh no. They're fully trained to take out anything. They're the Royal Guard.
Now, I know you're not able to see backstage, Yvette, so I will say this. Yvette, do you have gas or electric stove? I know the answer to that question because I'm not a complete idiot.
Who's asking?
Grandpa Geek.
Gas.
Professional chef.
Gas.
I'm going to say electric stove and professional chef do not go together. Ever.
Actually,
Never
I know a fair share of professional chefs that live and die by electric.
I know 6, and none of them would touch an electric stove if their life depended on it.
Yeah, I can categorically say that when shopping for a new hob or whatever, if it was even mentioned by my father, what about that? My mother would eat his head.
I like gas, especially when I pass it.
Well, when you've got 2 5-star Michelin chefs saying, I would rather cook over an open fucking flame, meaning a campfire, than a electric stove. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what the difference is. I mean, I have an electric stove myself, but I mean, is it like just, the equalization of heat in the pan, or
pure control of temperature?
Ah, okay.
Instant temperature. You can. I'm no expert, but you fiddle with a knob and you can get it as low as you need to or as high as you need to. Yeah, I switch it on and put a pan on it myself, but you know.
Well,
but
yeah, I kind of do that too.
The captain's right. Absolutely. She would never have an electric stove ever.
He's trying to get a propane to a stove.
Gotta get a propane accessories.
You know, you can take me off being bigified if you want.
Good.
Yeah.
Supersize me, sweetheart.
I'm glad you saw the picture anyway. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, my father's father, my grandfather, he was in the RAF, and they were doing manoeuvres over Egypt and he was shot down. And my nana at the time was pregnant with my father, and she only had 2 weeks to go, so she couldn't go out with him on this particular whatever it was they were doing. It was 1936, and well, to be honest, if he'd survived, I don't think I'd be here, because she would have gone out there. So yeah. So both my father never met his father, and I only had my nana on that side. Yeah. But the RAF certainly looked after Nana very well indeed. Yeah. What are we looking at?
Sassy.
Sassy in her natural habitat.
We're watching Sassy Cam right now.
Sassy
The
Cam.
gardener's going to come today.
It's the
This is
backyard.
the highest the grass gets.
You have to remember, Cap, I don't know Yvette as well as you do. So and also my understanding of, I don't know if they do have electric or propane or any of that crazy stuff over there, because I've never been to the UK before. But I'll tell you this, I had an interesting experience. I had a gas stove and a gas dryer when I lived in California. When I left California, I took my stuff with me. I took the dryer with me with the washer. And I get to my new place in Florida, and I can't hook it up because there's no gas. I had to get an electric one.
Am I going deaf?
No, why?
Because I can hardly hear you all.
And maybe you are going deaf.
Yeah, maybe I am. I've got sounds up full. I'll drop out and come back in. That might help.
Good idea.
I'll be back in a sec.
Yes, JPs, that is how I say it. That is not how it is spelled, but yes, that is how I say it.
Yes. Even though he's wrong, but many pronunciations, he still says them wrong. Thank you for pointing that out.
At least I try to spell them right.
No, well, Yvette is away. She has said in streams on a number of occasions she hates to cook for her mother because she was a professional, or is a professional chef. Professional chefs, for the most part, do not use electric.
Cap, I know several
4- and 5-star Michelin chefs would never use electric. Yay, Yvette's back.
Hey,
And
Cap,
I can hear.
Cap, after I know people like Chef Zilla and several others, and yeah, I 100%. They would rather have a gas every day of the week, twice on Sunday, versus electric. And trust me, like I said, we're going to look into. It's going to be a few years down the road project, but if I can get my propane set up to where it can go through a stove, I'm going to replace this electric stove and get a propane stove. I'll pay the money to have all that done.
I just Googled it, and in a survey of 100 professional chefs, only 96 preferred gas.
Wow.
96 out of 100.
Oh, 4 of them.
Only though. Only.
Yeah.
It's only.
I must have been the 4 I know must have been the others that they spoke to.
I never worked in a restaurant. You know, the times I worked in a restaurant, and I can't speak for anybody else, and I mean a restaurant, not a fast food place. Everything was gas. That's how you cook the food. You had those open flames, and that was how it worked. Yes, it gets hot, but damn it, the food is much better. And the food cooks more even.
Good morning, honey.
Shut up, LDG.
Yeah,
Billy,
no.
did you shut down your computer last night?
He probably fell asleep on the keyboard, given the
Shut
radio
off
was
my
snoring.
computer. What the hell are you talking about?
Oh, we left you snoring in the back of
Oh, no.
JJ's
No,
room.
What?
JJ said, oh, we're back. Listen to this. And I went, put him backstage now.
That's funny. No, that was a laptop. I was in bed. The reason why I was snoring.
He was
Sorry
so
about
cute.
I wondered when I woke up for a quick minute and I was backstage. I'm like, oh crap, maybe I was snoring.
Well, they were trying to show me, and I'm like, just put him backstage now. I didn't want them to take fun out of you. So, yeah. But you're very cute.
Yeah.
Going back to the stoves, guys, I've never used an electric one, so I cannot comment. So,
I don't like the glass. I mean, I have one. It's okay, but I mean, I don't know if I like the glass top or if I don't. I had a coffee kettle that was designed for the glass top electric stoves, right? And somehow, I don't know if I used it too much or what happened, but the damn thing bonded to the top of the stove. When I finally popped it off, it took a small chunk of the glass top off.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. And the stove still works fine. It's just got this little divot in the top now. It's really strange. But yeah, you got to have the right pots and pans for it. You can't just put anything on it. You got to use well, you can use just about anything to clean the top of it off, but the top tends to get if you spill, it's really hard to get the carbon scoring off. I had to use I had this little tool that it puts a razor blade in it, and it's got a little shutter on it, and then you just use that to scrape off the crap.
Oh, good lord!
Yeah,
Stop that.
They're strange. They're really strange. I almost prefer the old-fashioned electric ones with the coils.
I vaguely remember seeing them in shops, I think.
I don't think I've ever had a gas stove, though. Funny thing once, though, in my apartment, I would, this was back when I was playing a lot of Freelancer and doing a lot of online gaming with some buddies in that game, and I went to turn on the kettle. I was going to make myself a quick cappuccino or something, and I turned on the wrong burner by accident, and I had a plastic Tupperware container on one of the other grills, and I didn't realize I turned on the wrong thing. And I'm sitting at the computer waiting for the kettle to boil, and my daughter's sitting on the floor looking at me, and she's got this look on her face like, and then I hear it. I hear the crackling of fire. I turn around and look. There's a gout of flame on my stove. A rather large gout of flame. The Tupperware caught fire and was melting all over the top of the stove. I ran up there. I grabbed the nearest thing I could, which was a pot and pan lid. I just grabbed that and started covering it up. The look on my daughter's face was hilarious too, because she was looking at me like, Dad. She didn't know whether she should say something and disturb me or not. And it's so funny. But yeah, I had slagged that whole burner, and I had to call my landlord and see if I could get a replacement stove, which they had plenty backups, so they were pretty cool about it. But I had to explain what happened. I'm like, lucky I didn't burn the apartment down though.
Yes, very lucky.
Yeah.
Now I do actually have a.
So far, you had 10-year-old food and 10-year-old hot sauce in your kitchen. You burn the stove. Yeah, you're definitely never cooking if I ever come over.
Yeah.
It's just not adding to your chief.
Yes, the CV is not looking good. I do have a question actually for all the Americans. I'm curious because, all right, this is probably a stereotype we see in like films and television series, but Tim's just said he put the kettle on, but he put the wrong burner on.
Yep.
Now, here, our kettles are separate. They have a little thing they sit in and boil on their own. We don't have to turn anything on a stove to boil water. So, do you guys have standalone kettles, or do you still prefer to put a pot on the stove?
They have them, but for the most part, it's when you put on the stove.
Ah, interesting. Wow.
Yeah, that would seem to make more sense, I think.
Yes. Bird is bored with us. It has to play a game. Yes.
Yes.
Don't feel bad, Bird. I'm playing a game too.
See, I've got like
I
a
can
normal
talk, Cap. My hands are busy.
Thank God you've got a game on when you said that.
Yeah. That just didn't sound right.
It only didn't sound right because of the other things.
Now I'm eating breakfast.
Yes, I've got a quick cup, which I couldn't live without. I literally couldn't live without my quick cup.
What's the
It takes
cup?
3 seconds to boil my coffee.
Is that what we call a Keurig over here?
I have no idea. You put the cup underneath it, you flick a switch, 3 seconds later, there's hot water in the cup. I get testy if I have to use the main kettle because that takes too long.
Oh, you've got a coffee maker for a single cup. Is that what it is?
No. I've got a Tassimo, which works actually on the same principle as the quick cup, but the quick cup is purely for hot water. You fill the reservoir up, and it literally boils. I don't know how. You know me and kitchen gadgets. Good grief! I stick my cup under it and flick a switch, and there. It is. It's called a quick cup. Yeah. Fantastic invention as far as I'm concerned.
I heard of a quickie. Those are quite enjoyable. I've never heard of a quick cup.
Yeah. Someone must be able to Google it. Quick cup. It's called a quick cup kettle. Quick cup kettle. I don't know. Quick cup. It's called.
I saw one that was weird because I guess millennials want to make up words now. I saw one that had some, I don't know, TikTok video that popped up, and she mentioned what her sexuality was. It says, if there's no emotional connection, there's nothing there, blah, blah. And somebody's like, well, what do you call a non-emotional connection since we're making shit up? And I said, I thought we called that a one-night stand back in the day.
Oh dear. Captain, you're going to tell LDG what happened?
I don't know. Go ahead, tell him.
The captain accidentally dropped his computer, and there's a third of the bottom case has got a wibbly wobbly timey wimey crack in it.
But how'd you drop your computer?
I was trying to go to the damn kitchen to get more coffee. I tripped, I fell. I'm not even focused on the fact that I hurt myself, but I dropped the goddamn computer. Yeah.
That sucks. Still working, though.
It's still working.
We still hear you. That's good.
They never want to listen to me when I told them they need to make laptops drop-proof. That's okay.
Well, there are ones that are drop-proof, but they're fucking expensive.
Well, let's remember, we don't exactly build shit to last anymore.
This is very true. No company makes things to last. Otherwise, they go under.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
I mean, honestly, I think the two oldest things in my house right now, as far as equipment, as far as furniture goes, is my wife's buffet, which was an inheritance from a passing of a family member, and then that rocking chair I've told you guys about, the one that's had 6 generations in it with my grandson. And that thing's over 100 years old. Now, maybe this other rocking chair my wife has, maybe that was built to last, but damn it, most shit nowadays ain't built worth a damn to last. You get that
six generations, that should be over 200 years old, not over 100.
Well, okay.
Unless they died at 20.
No. Let's
be reasonable.
No. I'm going to go through I'm going to go through them here real quick.
His family has very quick generations.
Well, this is true. That's possible.
My grandson just sat in it. My children have all sat in it. And my oldest is 20. I'm 41. I've sat in it when I was a child. My father sat in it. My grandmother sat in it. And then my granny sat in it. And she was the first generation. So, and my granny passed away when she was like almost, she was in her 80s. I'll have to look it up. So, yeah, I understand. I
forget they breed young in his family.
Well, yeah, my granny was 16 when she married my grandfather. My grandmother married my grandfather in her 20s, but she also was previously married and had, children with him. So that generation they also sat in it, and that was when she was in her early 20s. I had my parents.
Okay, we figured out how it's 100 years old and 6 generations. Wow.
So yeah, we tend to have a child around the 20-year mark. I mean, really around that 20-year, the 18, 19, 20-year mark. I had one at 21. My daughter's 20. My parents, when they were 18. So, but yeah. Well, I will say this: I can confirm 5 generations. I believe the 6th generation, the first generation, was my granny. Because I remember her telling me she was the first one to sit in it, or one of the first at that time to sit in, because her family had, let's see, she had, I believe, 8 brothers and sisters. No, she had 11 brothers and sisters. 3 of them unfortunately passed away very young. The rest all lived into their literally 70s and 80s.
Wow.
Did your phone just go off of it? I thought I heard something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it did.
Okay. I hope you can
It did.
stay longer.
Yes, I'm okay for a minute. I am. Yep. I've also had some messages from someone in the chat, which I'm not going to look at till I'm off. So, yeah, at least I can hear you all now. I don't know what happened earlier. You just all went deathly quiet. Very strange.
Yes, Darren's in the chat.
Oh, hello,
Morning,
Darren.
Darren.
Yeah, well, I didn't have any decent stories from shopping this morning. I got in before any of the oldies got in there, so I kind of whizzed round very quickly. Apart from not managing to buy Mum's tits, of course, that was a downside. So, apart from
What's
that,
this?
what?
Good God.
Victoria's Secret has a new fluid, or not fluid, but I guess I would say men's section, quote unquote.
And yes, to bring that back up. Bring that back up, Tim.
You like that? I did that on JJ's stream last night. Because him and Anzo were going at it about, the standard dick waving contest. Oh, I'm better than you at this. So first thing I logged in as with this.
Achievement unlocked. Beat the dead horse. I like that.
That's one thing to wake up to, I guess.
Bless you.
And yes, Yvette did say tits.
Where are the tits?
You all know what they are. You've even seen photos of them now. It's not my fault the bakery's not making them at the moment. I have no idea why they aren't. They're not even making Belgian buns.
Wow.
Strange.
I don't know if I want to trust things from the headquarters of the European Union.
I don't think I want to trust things from anywhere union.
We left the European Union.
Or have you?
Oh, yeah, we have. Oh, yeah.
Part of the pickle union.
Trust me, they were trying for many more years than people know about.
Oh, Cap, you know me. I do follow politics, but even I didn't. The only reason I started even knowing about the Brexit stuff was, and I'm not trying to get into politics, I just remember it started becoming a big thing. And the only time I had heard anything get this much media attention from the UK on something like that was some years back, and I don't even remember when Scotland voted whether or not they wanted to stay part of the United Kingdom or not.
The referendum, yeah. They're pushing for one again. Or rather, the stupid bitch that hates us is pushing for one again. Basically, we've said let them do it again. But Parliament have said no, it was a one-in-a-generation vote. So they have to wait. But she's pushing for it. And to be perfectly frank, they voted to stay, which was the logical thing to do, because if Scotland becomes an independent country, they'd have to create their own money.
Mm-hmm.
They would they wouldn't have any money from Westminster, which actually keeps the place running. Their industry is partial oil revenue, only partial. Whiskey,
Intelligence.
fishing,
Military.
some of it. Yes, some of it. But again, if the problem with that is the Scottish regiments still come under the Queen, so there would be an issue with that as well. However, what the Daft Witch wants to do is actually rejoin the EU. So the whole thing is ludicrous because she wants them to get independence so they can rejoin the EU. But they can't afford to join the EU because they haven't got the money to pay into the EU.
I remember, Cap, you might remember this one a while back. There was this whole thing about they wanted to try and break California up into 3 states. I don't know if you remember.
California
no,
and Texas could each be broken up into 3 states or more.
I think it needs to be broken off the coastline, made its own like little island.
Well, I've said that before. I've said that before. Break it off at the, break it off at the fault line, push it out into the ocean, say fuck you all, and go.
But I've always had it interesting when people say, "Well, California, we don't need America." I'm like, "Are you sure about that?" And they're like, we're this whatever economy they are. They're like, we're bigger than some countries. I was like, yeah. So what happens if you leave? Well, nothing will really change. I said, well, let's see. You have to get new money. You have to come up with new money. You have to figure out a way to coin it. You are no longer. You lose your entire state loses your entire electoral college and all your representatives and your senators. The military will have to leave. That means you lose all those bases, and we have quite a few in California, in quite a few areas. So, no.
And good morning, Darren, and good to whatever it is to you, Fedoc.
Evening, Cap.
Whatever it is to you, Fedoc.
So it's not as easy to break away as California. It's not as easy for California to break away as much as they'd like. Also, there's nothing in the Constitution that states a state can secede.
Wait. So you lot are coming to your senses and ditching the Californians? Great. Where's the whiskey?
We'd like to. But anyhow.
We'd like to, but we can't.
Well, California has its own currency already. I mean, it's got several of them, actually. They can pick whichever one they want to use if they wanted to break off. But, yeah, I kind of like the idea of breaking it up into smaller states, but there's probably a lot of unforeseen consequences that come with that I haven't looked into. So.
Well, I remember when it got traction. I believe it got the number of signatures, but I also believe that it was shot down by their state Supreme Court on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's how I remembered. I didn't get too much detail past that because I don't live in California anymore, and I don't give a shit anymore.
Well, they're not going to vote for something that's going to diminish their power.
No, of course not. No state within the right mind would.
Well, libertarians would, but there aren't enough of them. So, it's,
I think there's more libertarians out there. I think there's more people on both sides, whether they're left or right, who are more libertarian than they realize.
NB,
right.
You're taking over again. This is not your channel. It's not your stream. Please refrain from talking over everybody else. Thank you.
My apologies. I didn't mean to, buddy.
Need a minute. Be right back.
Certainly. What's going on, Darren?
So I heard that Victoria's Secret has a new line now called Victor's Secret.
Oh, God.
Who cares?
Oh, LDG brought that up.
Oh, yeah. In chat.
Don't bring my northern cousins into your madness. The Russian.
Sorry, I'm confused because I didn't hear what he said.
Victoria's Secret has a line called Victor's Secret now.
Oh. For real?
Well, LDG brought it up earlier. He didn't say Victor's Secret. That was kind of my little twist on it. But apparently they've got a men's line. But I mean, Fredericks of Hollywood had, stuff for guys too. I mean, for the longest time. So I don't think it's a huge deal. But if it's a first for Victoria's Secret, then I guess it's a first. But yeah, when it came to the comparison between the two, my understanding was that Victoria's Secret was the stuff that women could wear pretty much every day, and Fredericks was more like costumes, and things like that you'd maybe wear for one occasion, Yeah,
Yeah, we don't have Victoria's Secrets here. Ours is called Anne Summers, and pretty much has anything for anyone in it.
So
when I was, sorry, Gary.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
I was going to say we had a Victoria's Secrets in the mall in South Carolina we went to, and honestly, after we were there for 7 years, and somewhere along, I think about 3 years into it, it shut down.
Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes a community will put a stigma on a place like that, and it doesn't get any business and has to close down. Sometimes that happens, and
the one at our mall just closed down this last year.
Well, yeah, but our mall is
bad.
Yeah, I mean, our mall is expensive, and it's not. It's that way because it's the only mall in the area. If there was like another mall that opened up in Holman or something, you'd see the prices go down. But yeah, I mean, that happens. Especially when you have online sales where people can order things in private,
Yep.
And let's see here. I'm sure Yvette will appreciate what Burroughs has to say.
I don't think so.
Darian, you mentioned Fredericks of Hollywood. I don't think I've seen anything from a Fredericks of Hollywood in a store or an advertisement in possibly a decade.
Yeah, I don't even know if they exist anymore, but they could.
Tiki, you have a Foot Locker still? I didn't even know Foot Locker was still in business.
They have to be. I see people looting from them all the time. At least it's called Foot Locker and not the athlete's foot. Who came up with the idea of naming your shoe store after a foot disease?
It's
me. That's like me opening up a bakery and calling it the yeast infection or something. It just wouldn't work.
Thank you, Darian. I needed a good laugh there. That was fantastic.
Wow. The jock's itch. I mean, come on, that doesn't work.
That would be sporting goods, right?
Yeah, that would be like cups and things like that. The athletic supporters.
Sounds like a really questionable pub.
Right.
It's like calling a brand new show after a sexually transmitted disease. STD.
Now,
well, that's a Star Trek.
Oh, no one's ever done that before.
No show would ever take an acronym after no show would ever use a sexually transmitted disease acronym ever.
No.
Hey, Mar.
Well, now you need is an STI. You're done.
I don't
be like,
Madam Geek goes, oh, STD.
Yeah. Or, new Disney Plus series, Avengers in Disguise series, What's the acronym? AIDS.
Yeah.
I was reaching there. Never mind.
Yes.
Hey, at least Adidas has a good acronym.
Yeah.
Hell, Korn made a great song about it.
Adidas. Adidas.
Well, Captain, it's
Ma'am.
that time. My tummy is grumbling. So, I thank you very much for having me. It's been up and down day today.
Yep.
Obviously, one of those days.
Yep.
Hopefully everything's all right with the computer. Obviously, when you finish, you can have a look at it, and I'll see you later. Anyway, sorry, Darren and Fedok, didn't really get a chance to speak to you, but
Oh,
great to
I'm
see
blowing
you.
up. Don't worry. It's always a pleasure talking to you, Vet.
Grandpa, always good to see you. Jimmy, I'll see you later. So until LDG when he gets back, I'll see him later. And of course, Daddy, you have a
Take
good day.
care.
And please, could you let me know if you get some good news? That would be great.
Of course, if I get
I'm
good news, I'll let everybody know.
I'm crossing everything for you. And to everyone in the chat, much love. Have a great day. See you all later. Bye bye.
See you, Vet.
I know.
Okay. Well. What's going on today, Fedok?
Well, in simple parlance, I'm bugged. Looks like some flu decided to take vestige in my brain, or my nose, or something. I'm not making any sense, am I?
We're still waiting for your reply.
I'm sick. That's it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
How are you, Dazzle?
I am sorry to hear that you're sick today.
I'll live. Just a minor bug.
I thought I heard LD talking about how he invented a laptop that doesn't fall to the ground, fall to the floor years ago, or something.
LDG
Unbreakable.
Okay,
Well,
you
they
just
made
reinforce it.
unbreakable. But yeah, it's plenty expensive. So yeah.
You know what didn't Mac just
one.
make one where the power cord just pops out instead of pulling the whole thing to the floor? And I vaguely remember the commercial.
I'm back.
LD, did you say you designed a laptop that was fall proof or something?
No, I said that they should have designed them to be fall proof in the first place.
But I thought you said you'd already done that. Like you'd already suggested it or something. Okay.
I kind of got that out of that
No,
statement
I
too.
didn't.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
said it too.
Okay.
And it must have been my English to getting turned inside out. That's okay. I'm used to it.
Did I hear that right?
Dyslexia of the mouth, is that it?
Correct.
Yeah. Dyslexia of the ears.
No. No, if multiple people heard the same thing, it's not the ears. It's the mouth.
All right, let's not pick
Unless
on
you
it too
listen
hard
with your
here,
mouth,
so.
and then okay.
Bird, look left, look right, look forward. They're gonna get you.
You're the one who said it. We hear the same thing, therefore, your mouth. Yes.
Okay, sorry. I forgot I was in high school again. Hi, everybody.
Well,
Roll
yeah.
call.
Of course, in high school.
Life is high school.
It's not immature to point out how communication works.
All right, I'm rewinding.
Right.
Okay. And Kronos says he's always immature.
Good.
Which is, yes.
That's great.
Kronos is a kid at heart.
Also great.
I suppose so.
And yes, Kronos dead air. That's life. It's not a professional show. You're not going to have...
With that, Bird's driving his Jeep around and hitting things.
That's real life.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Oh. Is that the Krogan oil refinery? What is that?
Yeah. Let's see here now. Kronos needs more coffee. Yep. And yes, Kronos. Bird thinks he's too good for us. You're right.
What the hell's he playing?
Let me.
One of the Call of Duties. No, which one is it?
We can play that in a second. Call of Duty something. Whatever it is.
We'll just say Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Warzone.
That's
okay.
It's free to play.
Is it really?
It's just a really big download, but yeah, it's completely free.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Doing a little urban off-roading, huh?
Correct.
For those of you who are curious, I put a Wikipedia article in the private chat about the list of local currencies in the United States. A lot of states have their own currencies, or regions in states have their own currencies. And so California, as you can see, has quite a few. So if they were to break off, they could just elevate one of those currencies to state level.
Do they follow a pattern usually? The currencies, do they follow a certain pattern?
I put the link up in the private chat. If you want to read about it, it's there.
Thank you.
Oh, let's see.
Wait a minute. Wisconsin has a couple?
Yeah. They're city, like the Milwaukee
Chamber Bucks in Eau
Chamber
Claire,
Bucks. Yeah.
Madison hours and Milwaukee hours.
Yeah, you can see if you Google Madison hours currency, you can see what they look like.
Okay, now this is one I didn't know. Missouri. Chamber Bucks. Marysville, Missouri.
Did I hear that right? Chamber?
All right, here we go.
I heard enough.
You guys
too.
listening? Hello?
Yeah, you had a chance to modify the audio.
All right,
let's
so
see what he's
here
come
it
up with.
is. Here it is. You never want to listen to me when I told them they need to make laptops drop-proof. That's okay. There you go. That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Thank
no one
you.
listened
So,
to
is
you
it
when
the
you told
ears?
everybody to make. So you had a plan, you had a design, and no one listened to you.
No, that had nothing to do with
or
it.
you just had a
know it.
complaint,
And
just had a-
know it.
or you just had a
know it.
complaint, or you just complained.
Dyslexia of the ears proven.
No.
Thank
hold
you
on.
for
I wanna
joining
know
People's
what you-
Court.
I want to know what you mean by
I did
that.
not say.
Well, then what did you mean? What did you mean when you said nobody listened to me
What
when I
does
said they shouldn't
anybody
be
say
You said
when they say
nobody listened
that?
to me. That means
Yes.
you.
That means That means I said the words. You guys need to make laptops drop proof, and they didn't do it. Whether that was to a customer service representative when I told them, because I
that
am
makes
quite open with customer service people when telling
you
them
are.
how to run their business. Yes,
Wasting your
absolutely.
time. Well,
I do it all the
customer
time.
Customer service reps don't run the business. That's the thing.
No,
you gotta realize.
no shit, Sherlock. But they do.
Then
tell
why
their
are you
bosses
open with them
everything
about
they
it?
hear.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Customer service people are supposed to push. Don't talk stupid. They're
I'm not
supposed to
talking
push
stupid.
up any messages to the superiors that they're customers. That's the whole point of them.
They don't.
Not necessarily. They don't.
Not necessarily.
They just listen
Okay.
to the customer.
All right.
And
Every
Listen,
company
okay.
is different.
This is turned into what's right into just prove LDG wrong. So I'm done with the conversation. I'm done with the conversation.
All you did was tell them, "Hey, you should make them, fall proof."
No.
Or did you actually have a design in mind? Drop proof. Okay, so
you don't have to have a design.
You
That's
just
their job.
casually mentioned it.
I suggest a feature. They develop it.
I got a question.
Yes.
Okay. Here's a legit question. How do you make a laptop drop proof?
They've done that.
They've done it already.
It's got to be twice as heavy, 4 times as big, and far less slow.
No. Okay, let me ask you a question, Bird. Did you roll a 6-sided dice to get those numbers? Because that is so wrong. It's not even funny. I mean, you play in D&D with numbers.
You've got to make it have shock absorbers.
It has to have any kind of drop
shock
proof.
absorbers.
Drop proof obviously does not. I can't believe I have to actually explain this to an electrical engineer. Drop proof doesn't mean it's 100% proof of being dropped. Drop proof means you gotta have some kind of instance. Yes, just like anything else.
What
that's
exactly do you want drop proofed?
I mean, all they had to do is at least add some freaking rubber to the damn case so it doesn't hit so hard and crack.
Have you seen?
All they had to do,
like when you have a drop-proof case for your cell phone,
anti-grav.
It makes it about twice as thick as the normal cell phone.
I was just wondering if you were talking about impact hits or if it's just preventing it from being dropped in the first place. Like maybe.
Oh God!
Maybe
I love you guys.
Maybe
I really
we had
but it's too early in the morning for this. I'm sorry.
Maybe
if we just you want to make it drop proof. Here's how you make it drop proof.
And you wear
some Gorilla
gloves
glue
with the other
on
type
your
of
hand,
Velcro
so
on
it
the
never
glove.
falls out of your hand in the first place. There, drop proof. Okay, so unless you're dropped out of an airplane, that thing is not hitting the ground.
All right, I like the Gorilla Glue. Let's do that.
I can use it. I don't know. It's stuck to my hand. I can't type. Well, technically you can if you're touch the keyboard. Oh, by the way, Captain.
Here's one: an automatic parachute. An automatic small parachute that comes out when it falls.
Enjoy a coffee.
Thank you.
Doesn't Apple already do that?
I think I bought you enough.
What, a parachute?
What the hell?
No, I thought that the cord that pops out when it falls.
Yeah, the magnetic cord. Yeah, that's more problems than it's worth.
But it does save laptops from falling.
The cord is the one thing that could keep it from hitting the ground if it's connected right.
You know those pouches that they you can hold babies with on your stomach. Maybe you could get one of those for a laptop. Oh, I just silenced.
One time, Sassy was running so fast, she got caught in the laptop cord and almost pulled my laptop onto the ground. Now, had it had the Apple breakaway magnet thing, then it wouldn't have been an issue, except for the fact that my laptop probably power would have went out.
Or the user.
Damn. Okay. Shit. Okay.
What?
Wow.
What happened?
What happened?
What's up, Captain?
Okay, we're getting rid of LDG for a moment. Thank you.
I would stop talking about it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to push the issue.
Thank you.
I was just curious.
Don't mention it.
I'll take any credit not nailed down. I mean, that's fine.
Okay, what the hell just happened?
I don't know.
Is it enough though?
I guess it wasn't drop proof.
Oh, it's.
I didn't even hear Fedok talk.
Gave a generous gift. You didn't hear him talk because you don't shut up.
Oh,
swear to God,
did he just
you-
super
you-
chat you to kick me?
No,
No.
he didn't say that, but he did send a very large gift. Thank you, and I wish he had said that in the gift because that
Would've been funny.
It would have been yeah.
You didn't hear it because you don't shut up.
If you want,
You know,
I could do it
hey,
again.
talk about calling the kettle black, okay, Darren? Listen, you know what? You
I just
want to
like the
talk
way you
about
said
not
that.
shutting up? Oh my God! All right, you know what? I'll make sure you
I
get
just
your
thought it
money's
was
worth
funny.
there, Fedoc.
I just thought you sounded funny when he said that.
That's like you making. Damn it! I was gonna reiterate the fat jokes he was making against me yesterday. I'm like, dude, you're just as big as me.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, wait a minute. Cronus is bringing up the fact why he doesn't have a mic. Oh.
Kronos, get me your address. I will send you a Mamo Pray 5 approved microphone.
What would that be?
Cup with a string.
The actual microphone Mamo Pray uses.
That's not approved. That's procured from.
I could send him my old desktop mic. It still works.
What kind does she use again? No, I'm curious as to what kind of microphone. Mama
Whatever
Pray
one was like $10 on Amazon.
Yeah, that's
I don't
about
know.
what my desktop mic was too.
I don't know. I probably would take LDG's advice on microphones, given the way he sounds.
Yeah, LDG sounds good.
It's those loudmouth New Yorkers. Well, we got one on the panel, so if you want to say something to his face, Tiki, go ahead.
Well, actually, we've got two on the panel since LDG is technically from New York. So
Yes, but you booted him.
What side of Florida is he on anyway? Is he on the east side or the west side?
He left. I didn't boot him. He left.
He's in Orlando. He's center of the state.
So, what are the
Orlando
major
is not center of Florida.
Well, center of east-west.
Okay.
Slightly
Yeah,
more,
well,
slightly more
center-ish.
east, but
center-ish.
pretty close.
You have to understand. Well, you have to understand when you're talking about Florida, you have to talk about it in the way it's shaped. You know, there's the Panhandle, there's the South, there's the mid part, and then you have to decide which. Look, I've lived in Florida enough of my life. I know how the geography is.
We were discussing whether or not he's on the east or the west coast of the state, though. So when Bird said that he's
Orlando
in the middle,
is-
we should have figured that out.
Yeah, well, I lived in Tampa. Tampa is on the Bay Area. Orlando is center of kind of where the trigger would be on Florida with the gun, but it is not the center of Florida. Actually, I don't even think Florida really knows where its center is.
Right.
Okay, that answer went nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
For a second there, I thought I'm just loopy for my meds, but yeah. NB.
I'm almost wanting to call in and ask if I can come in early for my appointment.
And
Root
B.
canal?
Thanks
Yes.
for that. Thanks for that. I now feel much more dumber about American geography.
Oh, you're welcome. Trust me, most Americans are dumb about American geography.
You guys have the size. You guys have a country the size of the Roman Empire. Give them some slack.
We could afford to lose a few pounds or a few states. I mean, I wouldn't mind if there was a way for a few of them to leave. Wouldn't bother me. There's several states I wouldn't mind seeing go away.
We should just downgrade the states back to territories.
Yeah, but
You
we
see-
don't have anything in the Constitution for that.
Yeah, but we don't have anything in the Constitution that says you
Against
can't.
it.
That's you lot thinking like Europeans. You're learning. Australia is too big, though. And your point is, Tiki? Besides the size?
We could pass a constitutional amendment that says if the population of any state surpasses X percentage of non-citizens or illegal undocumented people, that state automatically reverts to a territory.
Yeah. Okay, that'll never pass, and you know it.
Yeah, doesn't that breach one of your constitutional amendments or something?
No,
That's the whole point. Once you amend the
That's the whole point of
Constitution,
a constitution.
it doesn't
That's the
need
whole point of
to.
a constitutional amendment. We had a constitutional amendment that banned alcohol. We had to do a constitutional amendment to repeal that amendment. So that's how that works. Yeah, we'd have to have a constitutional amendment, which, constitutional amendments aren't hard to pass in America. They only require 2/3 the House, 2/3 the Senate, and 3/4 the states. I mean, that's all.
No, that's all, huh?
That's why it doesn't happen very often.
That's why there's only been
Well, 27, but the first 10 all happened more or less at the beginning.
I was going to try and say that's why we've had 17 only since
Really,
the Bill of
17, yeah.
Yeah, 17 added since the Bill of Rights, and one of those was to repeal one of them.
Wave goodbye to Grandma. Oh,
So 15 effective.
Baby.
Why 15, not 16? One was to repeal, so out of 17 would it be 16?
Because one was for something and the other was to undo that something. So those two are both a wash.
I see your logic behind that. Gotcha.
I take it back. I do actually leave these chats learning a bit more about your strange American ways in terms of government. That's one good thing about them. Yeah,
when you get people when you get people who actually know what the hell they're talking about, like Bird of Prey, and then, me too, when it comes to civics, it's always good to learn because we don't give biased point of views. We may give biased opinions, but we'll give you the facts. We're not going to bullshit you.
I do remember as a boy, this was in high school down here basically, they did sort of mandate something like civics to be taught. It was an initiative. I'm not sure if it was a state thing or if it was for the entire federal system. One of the two. That's all I really know about that kind of structure of learning. I'm not making any sense, ignore me.
No, you're making perfectly fine sense to me.
Good.
Oh, that's a scary thought. And yes, Kronos, the birds are weird as well. You're correct.
Well, as much as I love them, yes, they are. Bit balmy.
All right.
Oh, the Australians don't like the color of their cheese. I think that's weird.
What?
Australians don't like the color of their cheese.
I have a question about your
Whose cheese?
Their own cheese.
Yes. Have you tried some of the Australian cheeses? They're kind of too tart. Or
right, but they come over here and they're like, "Why is your cheese orange?" I'm like, "Why isn't your cheese orange?"
Because we. Darren.
Yeah.
I respect I respect you, and I consider you a very learned man. But stuff you, Yank.
Oh, that's condescension about you strange Yank. So yes, no one's normal like my country. Yeah, your country, whatever.
Do you actually know where that term Yank comes from?
Yeah, well, I don't even give a shit. That's the word that I heard you use, so that's why I used it when I imitated you. So.
Yep. Yeah. Fair enough.
Hey, FedDoc. So in Australia, you all have is it provinces or how is it defined? Those
We have states and
you do
birds'
have
favorite.
states. Okay.
We have states and birds' favorite thing, 2 territories. One of them is the Northern Territory, and the other one is the Australian Capital Territory. Guess how that came into being?
I have no clue.
Okay, it used to
That's
be
where the capital is.
Well, I assume
Well,
that's where the capital is, but I don't know how it came to be.
I mean, that would be my guess.
Okay, you've heard these 2 cities, Sydney and Melbourne?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't get along as to which would be the capital. Sydney absolutely refused to defer to Melbourne because it was the first, and like hell would Melbourne learn its place and actually accept Sydney as the superior city. So the Australian Capital Territory was made. I think Washington was a similar situation. Washington, D.C. was made in a similar form. I think it was also built, Canberra was built because it was far away from the sea, therefore it couldn't be shelled.
Well, the reason for the District of Columbia was it originally was the idea was to be the seat of our federal government power, but it was meant to be separated on purpose so as not to be part of the states per se. And we do have people who want DC to be a state. And here's the thing people don't understand. Sometimes people don't understand. Our territories do have Puerto Rico, the District of Columbia, those places like that, the American Samoas, they actually do have a representative in the House. Now, they are non-voting representatives and they have no senators, but they can still bring about legislation. They can still vote on local, they can still vote in whatever, what's the word I'm looking for? Caucus, maybe they're in, say they're part of that. They can vote on maybe getting a legislation laws through their caucus or whatever it is. They just can't vote on it when it comes to the floor. But they can introduce, they can represent, and they can vote on certain things, and they can have influence. That's something a lot of people don't know. That we have them, all our territories have them, have a representative. They just, they can't vote on the floor of the House of Representatives.
Yeah, which has everything to do between the competition between Sydney and Melbourne. I'm more interested in that.
They're the oldest cities, more or less.
Yeah. So which one ended up being the capital?
Neither.
Okay.
Canberra became the capital, or as you would call it, Canberra.
Canberra. Okay. Interesting.
Trust me, just go, which ironically is located within New South Wales. It's a territory that's enclosed absolutely entirely by New South Wales, which is the state that Sydney belongs to.
Gotcha.
So your mileage may vary.
Gotcha.
It's a boring
Is there a big
city, though.
difference? Hey, Fed, is there a big difference between your state's rights and your territory's rights?
I imagine so. We probably have a similar system to you guys. I know we do have senators from the territories, except for the ACT. I think Northern Territory has a few senators. I'm not sure as to what they can do. But the Northern Territory is basically just mostly the Kimberley. I think it's mostly the Kimberley Desert, or is that mostly in South Australia? It's mostly that. It's mostly just the northern parts. It's very sparsely populated for obvious reasons.
And you have a parliament, right?
We have a House of Representatives and a Senate, which are yes, basically you have the states, which each have a House of Representatives and a Senate, except for my new state of Queensland, which only has one house, the House of Reps. How that works, don't ask me. I still don't get it. The local leaders of each state are called premiers, and states have a lot of power. like in my old state of New South Wales, there's a certain flu going around, let's put it that way. And since certain classes are growing, Queensland and probably a few others will no doubt shut down their borders to the various states. Basically, we're seeing people from New South Wales unable to come up to Queensland, so we can actually close the borders between individual states in this country.
Interesting.
It is. And technically speaking, the main differences are that we follow more of an English Westminster system as opposed to you guys. But then again, things like common law are still the same. I'm sure that... How does it work with your governors and your president? Because usually is the case where Prime Minister will sit down with the various premiers at various meetings and probably arrange deals and such like between the states and the federal parliament. Anything like that?
There are times where the president will have like a meeting with governors, like well, nowadays obviously a phone conference, and get the governors from the states and the territory, and obviously the governors from the territories too, and have a meeting with them via that way.
Oh, fair enough then. Okay. I think it's a bit more proper here. If there's like a proper structure.
I'm sorry, but I'm just saying on the last few times I've seen it, it's normally done like a conference call. They have, because, trying to get 50 state governors and the governors of the territories like Puerto Rico, the American Samoa, the Virgin Islands and stuff. There's no point in flying all these people there when you have the technology to, communicate the way we have now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think as of late, when the major crisis happened regarding this little pandemic and such like.
Well, my wife brought up a good point. If all those governors and say the president or the vice president were in the same place, that's a major target hit.
Fair point.
My wife just actually brought that up. I didn't even think about that.
Fair point indeed.
Well, it's so when the State of the, for example, when the State of the Union goes on, there is one person who is not there from the executive branch. That is considered the designated survivor.
I believe there's one person from each branch there.
There might be. You might be right. That one, you might be right, Bird. Or I'm sorry, not Bird. Who said that? Was it Bird? Oh, it was Bird.
It was Bird.
Where's Cap?
That's what I was wondering.
When did he leave? Oh, there you are, Cap.
Several minutes ago, because you take over streams again. We were asking about Australia, not fucking DC.
All right, I will leave. Sorry.
The man has the gift of gab, Cap.
All right, and since I give up. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for